Today, we're diving into the emotional imprint left by super empath bonds, especially in relationships with avoidant partners. These connections are unique, often leaving a lasting mark on both individuals involved. We'll explore how these bonds form, why they're so powerful, and what makes them unforgettable. Whether you identify as a super empath and avoidant or are simply curious about deep emotional connections, this journey will shed light on the hidden dynamics at play. Let's begin by understanding what sets a super empath bond apart from ordinary relationships and why its impact lingers long after the connection ends. Avoidant partners often create physical distance in relationships, but that doesn't mean they're emotionally detached from the super empath bond. In fact, the connection remains alive in their nervous system and emotional memory. Even when apart, avoidance can't simply erase the emotional resonance of the bond. It resurfaces unexpectedly during moments of loneliness or when they enter new relationships. This lingering presence is a testament to the depth and uniqueness of the super empath connection, which continues to influence their emotional world long after physical separation. Super empaths possess a remarkable ability to tune deeply to their partners. They sense unspoken emotions and offer a presence that feels safe and non-controlling. This level of attunement creates a unique environment where vulnerability is welcomed, not judged. For avoidant partners, this can be both comforting and unsettling. The super empath's presence invites openness, but also challenges old patterns of self-protection. This dynamic sets the stage for a bond that is both healing and destabilizing, simply because it feels so different from what avoidants are used to. For avoidant individuals, closeness often triggers a sense of danger. Their nervous systems are wired to associate intimacy with risk, making the safety and warmth of a super empath bond feel unfamiliar. This paradoxical reaction can lead to internal conflict, wanting connection but fearing its intensity. The avoidant instinct is to pull away, even as they crave the emotional security the empath provides. This push-pull dynamic is at the heart of why these bonds are so impactful and hard to forget. What makes the super empath bond destabilizing isn't negativity, but rather the unfamiliar sense of safety and intimacy it brings. For avoidants, this level of closeness is rare and can feel overwhelming. The relationship challenges their usual defenses, inviting them to experience a depth of connection they may have never known. This unfamiliar territory can be both exhilarating and frightening, leaving a profound emotional imprint that's hard to shake, even after the bond ends. Avoidance nervous system records the super empath bond as a rare and deep emotional experience. Unlike typical relationships, this connection is not easily disregarded or forgot. The emotional memory persists, influencing future relationships and personal growth. Even when avoidants try to move on, the imprint of the super empath bond remains, shaping their understanding of intimacy and connection for years to come. When faced with the intensity of a super empath bond, avoidants often resort to intellectualizing and compartmentalizing their emotions. This coping mechanism helps them regain a sense of control, but it doesn't erase the underlying feelings. The super empath, meanwhile, reflects the avoidant's suppressed emotions back to them, often without judgment. This mirror effect can be both enlightening and uncomfortable, prompting avoidants to confront emotions they'd rather avoid. Super empath's ability to reflect emotions without judgment creates a safe space, but it can also trigger fear and discomfort in avoidants. Vulnerability is not their comfort zone, and being seen so clearly can feel threatening. This discomfort often leads avoidants to withdraw or leave the relationship, seeking to restore their emotional equilibrium. However, the emotional memory of the bond remains, quietly influencing their inner world. Even after withdrawing, avoidants retain a subconscious memory of the super empath bond. This memory can surface in unexpected ways through dreams, sudden emotions, or comparisons with new partners. The depth of the connection makes it difficult to fully move on as the avoidant continues to carry the emotional imprint within their psyche. This lingering presence shapes their future relationships, often leading to a sense of something missing. After experiencing the depth of a super empath bond, avoidants often find subsequent relationships lacking in comparison. The emotional richness and attunement they once felt become a benchmark, making new connections feel shallow or unsatisfying. This unconscious comparison can create restlessness and dissatisfaction, as avoidants search for a similar depth but struggle to recreate it. The super empath bond becomes a standard against which all future relationships are measured. Super empath often serves as an emotional regulator for the avoidant partner. When the bond breaks, avoidants lose this source of stability and comfort. This loss can lead to subtle emotional dependency, where the avoidant unconsciously seeks the regulation and support they once received. The absence of the empath's presence is felt deeply, highlighting the unique role they played in the avoidant's emotional life. Avoidants often withdraw from the super empath bond in an attempt to preserve their autonomy. However, this withdrawal doesn't erase the emotional imprint left behind. The loss of emotional regulation and the depth of the connection create lasting psychological ties. Even as avoidants strive for independence, they remain subtly connected to the super empath, unable to fully sever the bond. Emotional processing is often delayed in avoidance. The true depth of the super empath bond may only be realized months or even years after the relationship ends. During this time, avoidants may reemerge, seeking the emotional regulation they once received, but without the intimacy that originally made the bond so powerful. This delayed realization adds another layer of complexity to the emotional imprint left by the super empath. The power of the super empath bond lies in its contrast to other relationships. As the empath's healing presence becomes less available, the psychological imprint of the bond grows stronger. Avoidants may feel restless and dissatisfied after the loss, struggling to find closure. The unique combination of healing and absence makes the bond unforgettable, shaping the avoidant's emotional landscape long after the relationship ends. Conclusion: the emotional imprint of a super empath bond is profound and enduring, especially for avoidant partners. The connection challenges old patterns, introduces unfamiliar safety, and leaves a mark that cannot be easily erased. Even as avoidants seek autonomy in new relationships, the memory of the super empath bond lingers, shaping their emotional world in subtle but significant ways. Understanding these dynamics can help both empaths and avoidants navigate their relationships with greater awareness and compassion.